Hey, my Liptons. So, listen, I know I haven't talked about wrestling in a minute. Like I said, I've taken a break from that community for a little bit because it's been a lot of toxicity. So I was just like, you know what? Let me focus on things that are like more, just make me a little bit more happy, or it's like this just, things that are more entertaining and so forth. Because I feel like a lot of times in the wrestling world, there's just a lot of drama. And not to say anything else that I talk about does not have drama, but it's like, okay, like where I can see a solution towards the end of that tunnel. But listen, I have been keeping my eye on a few things as far as like in the wrestling world. I still keep up with a few podcasts on YouTube, keep me updated on certain things. I know I'm very late on a lot of documentaries that have been produced and so forth. Like I had no idea that Dark Side of the Ring came back. But listen, at this point, I'm not shocked that I didn't know because I dragged Dark Side of the Ring last season. Y'all guys can go on my wrestling talk playlist. And I dragged them because I was just like, yo, like, why isn't this being promoted more? Like I felt like Dark Side of the Ring used to be super duper popular, like the first season, the second season, the third season, but then it seemed like after the third season it seemed to fall off, I think. So I don't know. It's been a lot of things. But I have been unfortunately keeping my eye on this Ric Flair situation. And listen, Rick, I actually roasted Rick. I did like a roast of Ric Flair. I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. Like I had to drag him a little bit because he was saying some bullshit about Jim Ross apparently, and I was like, I said, you're not about to come in here and drag Jim Ross on this internet. Absolutely no, ma'am. I said no. I said that's why I went on my video and I had to drag Ric Flair. And a few Ric Flair fans were upset with me on that video. You guys can go on my wrestling talk playlist and go find that video there. It's just go look at the comments I had to say about that. But a few Ric Flair fans had issues with the comments I had to say about Ric Flair. But I felt like Rick needed that dressing down because he was full of shit about what he said about Jim Ross. Now, fast forwarding to what's going on with Rick, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and y'all know, and at this point, I think even Ric Flair fans are seeing it, but Ric Flair is going down bad. Like he's really, really going down bad. He's really just looking like a buffoon on this internet, on the media. He's just really, really like at this point. I know we talk about Vince McMahon being senile, Hulk Hogan being senile. Bitch, Ric Flair is senile, clearly, or showing some signs of whatever. Maybe he's having some signs or symptoms of dementia or Alzheimer's, whatever the hell. And I guess maybe anger and temper tantrums and lying is a part of that. Because Rick, and I don't even want this to be like a roast session for Ric Flair. Like I want this to be like this. Someone in Ric Flair's family needs to take him to an intervention. Like Charlotte, girl, what are you doing? Like when what's the other wife? Wendy. Where's the family in this situation? Like genuinely, like where is the family for Rick? Rick either needs to be in a nursing home or something. Have put a straitjacket on Ric Flair. Have him and chef cook it for me. They say my shoe getting crazy. The mental asylum looking for me. Put him in a mental asylum. No Nicki Minaj. Like, are you serious, Rick? Rick has been out here looking for, and he's going down bad. And honestly, if Rick does not be careful, he's really gonna ruin his legacy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised his legacy hasn't already been ruined after those allegations made on that Dark Side of the Ring episode. But then again, y'all and this is just a side note. I notice in the wrestling community, a lot of times y'all will drag Hulk Hogan. And listen, at times rightfully so, because Hulk Hogan at times can be full of shit. But I noticed that y'all really harp on Hulk Hogan. Like y'all really, at this point, I'm starting to think it's more of like a hate train for Hulk Hogan. And it's like, I feel like y'all will drag Ric Flair for like a day or two and then let things be. Whereas y'all will make continuous videos, continuous documentaries, YouTube documentaries, all these different things, dragging Hulk Hogan. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not saying that Hulk Hogan has not made stupid decisions in his life, has not did some dumb shit, but I feel like that same smoke is not really garnered for Ric Flair in the same way y'all have it for Hulk Hogan. But then again, that's just my own. That's just me watching from the sidelines. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the vitriol, a lot of times, or like the hate train, is mostly for Hulk Hogan, and Ric Flair's out here looking like a hot mess, 24/7, and of course, people are now waking up to Ric Flair's bullshit and waking up to the fact that this man is really out of his bonkers. But I wish it could have been sooner. But Ric Flair, so he was okay. So the reason why I'm making this video, he's looking a mess right now. He's looking a mess. He looks crazy. He just looks a mess. Apparently he was at some pizza. I guess he was at some pizza restaurant or something. It didn't even get to the point where I watched the video. I was just like, I don't want to see him like this. I don't want to see one of the legends act like this. I just read what people said. I listened to how people described the situation to be, and I moved on with my life. And then I also saw the tweet that he posted. So Ric Flair was apparently at some restaurant, and he apparently was inebriated and drunk as shit, and he was going off at the management at this pizza shop and whatever, and he said, oh, I dropped $1,500 on pizza on this pizza restaurant, and they disrespected me. That's what Ric Flair said. They disrespected me. So if y'all ever gonna go to this location, never never eat there, never, support this business. So the first thing that popped, of course, like everybody else, the first thing that popped in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, $1,500 for pizza? I'm like, bitch, are you feeding a community? What the hell are you dropping $1,500 on pizza? Like, where, like, huh? So that was the first thing. And then, of course, when we saw that tweet, we were like, okay, nah. First of all, we can't trust Ric Flair at his word, because he does lie a lot of times too. So if there's any footage, which obviously there would have been, because people would have recorded, because this is Ric Flair, so they would have recorded that or something. I'm like, listen, let's wait for all the facts to come out. That's why I didn't harp on this situation. TMZ comes out with the video. It shows Ric Flair acting a goddamn buffoon. Talking about he wants to fight, he wants to do this. And mind you, apparently one of the guys, I guess from the management team from that restaurant, was like, oh, you want to fight? Okay, let's take it outside. I want the smoke. I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And listen, Ric Flair is, he genuinely believes he's probably like in his heyday, thinking that he could, like, Rick, you at this point, someone will just have to slap you and the dust will fall out right from your ass, okay? Rick don't want that smoke with the pizza people. So that came out, and it was just a very embarrassing thing. Ric Flair really tried it, and you clearly, first of all, that was a whole lie, that $1,500 thing, because he's saying, oh, well, I tipped people $1,000, and I'm like, and I took 20 pictures with 20 people from that restaurant, and blah, 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 and I was just like, okay, girl, I was just like, whatever. And then on top of that, also, so I was looking on his Twitter, because I was just like, what does Ric Flair be tweeting? Because at this point, it's like, this man seemed like he's really spiraling. So I also saw another tweet where he was kind of pissed off that he's not a part of like a documentary that's being, I think, produced or made by Dwayne The Rock Johnson's company. I think the documentary is being made by The Rock, but is being distributed through Vice TV. And I know that The Rock also has a good relationship with Vice, so I can see that happening. So apparently he had an issue with, I guess, Rock's production company not reaching out to him to be put on that WCW documentary. Like, I think it was called Who Killed WCW? So he had an issue with it. And he was going off. And he was like, oh, I have respect for The Rock. but the jabronis that he has on his team are bullshit because they didn't reach out to me. Think first of all, let me be very clear. If this was not if this was the Ric Flair, like the Ric Flair of 2007, okay? If this was the Ric Flair of 2007, Ric Flair when he's not senile, I would be like, oh no, The Rock is definitely wrong. Like he and his production company definitely should have reached out to Rick and put him on that. Like at the end of the day, Ric Flair was in WCW for a very long time, NWA. So it's like he probably knows. But we are dealing with 2024 Ric Flair. We're dealing with senile Ric Flair. We're dealing with lying ass Ric Flair. We're dealing with. So I'm about to go there. But we're dealing with the Ric Flair that doesn't take accountability for anything. We're dealing with the Ric Flair that will go off on you, will drag you if you don't do anything for him at the moment. So why the fuck would The Rock and his production company ever reach out to you when you're out here cursing out pizza people talking about you paid them $1,500 for some pizza? Make that make sense. I think The Rock saw what the hell was going on with Ric Flair even before this incident. He's seen Ric Flair's moves. He's seen the way Ric Flair is talking about other people in the wrestling business, and he probably doesn't like it, and he probably thinks that Ric Flair is not going to be unbiased enough or tell the truth enough to really give us like detail based on how WCW went from like this like 83 weeks, Titan going against WWF at the time to now being no longer in existence after, it has been more than 2 decades. So obviously, realistically speaking, yes, Ric Flair should have been a part of that documentary. But if we're going to get down to the technicals, if we're going to get down to business, Ric Flair is not good for business. Okay? We just going to have to keep it a stack. And honestly, listen, like I said, this is going to be an intervention of Ric Flair. Someone in his family, I don't know who. Doesn't need to be Charlotte, doesn't need to be his wife, doesn't need to be. Someone needs to tell this man the truth about who he is. And I think that's also the problem too. Ric Flair does not know who he is. He doesn't look in the mirror to see the kind of human being that he's portraying himself in public. The way he comes across. He genuinely does not know how to come out of character. Like, Rick, wrestling is fake. Okay? This is real life. And when you approach people, when you're going to restaurants and so forth, bitch, you need to be humble. You need to be respectful because at the end of the day, these people are taking your orders. Okay? They have to be patient with the customers. So you don't come in there cutting a promo prior to somebody that hasn't probably even grown up watching you or nothing. And you telling them that you want to fight them, but you're about to be damn near 8,000 years old. And they're like, okay, you want to fight me? Okay, let's take it outside. So, to me, I genuinely, I think Ric Flair said this, that, he doesn't know who Richard Flair, what's his real name? Richard Flair? He doesn't know who Richard Flair is. He knows Ric Flair. And apparently, like, his biological brother apparently reached out to him a number of years ago to have them connect, but he didn't want to have a relationship with them because he just wasn't interested. I think Ric Flair needs to go back and find his roots because apparently he was I don't know, not allegedly, but I think he was kidnapped as a baby. There's a lot going on with this man. Like childhood and upbringing and everything. Like this man was kidnapped as a baby. Lord have mercy. This could be an ID Discovery, murder channel, crime channel episode. Okay? Rick needs to go find out his roots. He needs to reach back out to that biological brother. Needs to go find out about his family. Knowing, the history of his biological family, probably his real mama, his real parents. Find that out. Maybe he'll be a little bit more complete. Maybe that soul won't be as bitter, you know? Because I think the way he's moving right now, Ric Flair genuinely does not come across as he's happy in his life. With all the accomplishments, with everything that he's done in this industry, he's not happy. You can tell. People might put a smile on their face in public and try to make it seem as if everything is all good. A man that is happy is not going to keep drinking fucking alcohol knowing that you had an alcoholic problem for a number of years. You're not going to continue drinking beer 3 times a day, cursing out people at pizza stores, going off about how you're not in a WCW documentary. Keep doing freaking final matches after final match after final match, having a heart attack in your last match, apparently. Someone that has these kind of patterns does not come across as someone that is happy. Like I said, I don't know, maybe Charlotte, maybe Conrad Thompson. Conrad, instead of you being on 83 weeks, you and Eric having arguments about AEW and all that extra bullshit, you need to be reaching out to your father-in-law, having a personal conversation. Like, let's do an episode of figuring out your roots kind of vibe. Okay, that would eat. Rick needs to figure himself out. And he needs to look in the mirror. He needs to go find his biological people, his biological brother, connect, find out, where he came from and all those different things. Let go of this gimmick. It's tired. At this point, this Ric Flair shit is tired now. Like, it's like this woo thing. Okay. Thank you. We had enough. If you want any of that, we'll just go watch old episodes of either WCW episodes or WWE. We're good on this. It's tired now. It's tired. Go find Richard Flair, whatever. Richard Flair. Go find out who that human being is. Go try to connect the dots. And then maybe let's try this again, because Rick is looking crazy out here. He's really looking crazy. And it's like, I don't know the people around him. Maybe he is really senile. Maybe he's like, there's something going on mentally with him. But he needs to get help. Interventions are needed. They need to, his family, I don't know, who, his wife, whatever, they need to get the alcohol out the house. They need to, really, give this man some tough love. Like, be like, yo, like, if you keep drinking, I'm out. I'm not doing this with you. If you keep doing this, I'm out of here. Done so. Like, people are really getting tired of Ric Flair's shit. And it's like, Ric Flair, like I said, he's one of those people where it's like, you have to keep doing things for him in order to him to praise you and like you and all those different things. But once you're once you're no longer in good terms with him or something, or if he does some bullshit, he'll blame you for everything. He did the same thing with WWE. Soon, most likely will probably happen with AEW. So I just feel like Rick really, really needs to get his shit together. But then again, it's like, there's a part of me that also feels like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And Rick is clearly an old dog, figuratively and literally. So we'll see what happens. But he's really going down a road here that is just, it's hard. It's hard for me to see him in this way because he's such a legend, but he acts like a damn, like just an idiot, a pure idiot. Anyway, y'all guys tell me what y'all guys think in the comment section below. Hopefully, the Ric Flair fans that were dragging me on that roast that I did of Ric Flair a while ago, don't fight me. Or maybe y'all guys come with a different tune. I don't know. But I'm going to open up the comments and see what happens. So, tell me what y'all guys think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get up to 900 subscribers. The goal is to get up to 1,000. I'll thank y'all so much, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.